Hey everybody, Mrs. Empowerment Coach in the building. Yep, I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna be everywhere in a minute. Y'all, I'm on behalf of Empowerment Schooling. As you know, that's a platform for life coaches. We all share one goal, and that's to empower you guys with hope, having only positive experiences. We focus on bringing awareness to the facts, to the masses, you guys, about one thing that we all got in common, which is your brain. Your brain, my brain, everybody got one. Okay? So we explain the why and the how of emotions, feelings, and how they affect your body. And how they affect your life attractions. So, do me a favor real quick. And before we jump into the topic is fear on relationships, so stay tuned. But like the video and share. Now, thank you. I am going to be addressing the topic that we already discussed on Facebook. Normally we have it on What's the Word Wednesday, and I'm going to start doing an extended version here on YouTube on Thursdays to go just a tad bit deeper and give you a little bit more information into it. We only got an hour on there, guys. So, hey, we try to give you what we can in the time that we got. So, check this out. If you're not following us on Facebook, that will be Empowerment Schooling on Facebook. Go ahead, be a fan. Now, let's get this topic rolling. So, we as people think we know everything. You guys, we have listened to what everybody done told us. This person said that, and that's why this is this, and this why this is that. Well, what we did was take the time to do the research to actually figure out the who, the what, the when, the why, and the how about everything that has to do with your mind, your emotions, and your feelings. So today, since you know everything, do me a favor and tell me in the comments what you think that your thoughts, how they happen in your brain. How does that work? Go ahead. Tell me. I'll check them in a minute. So, seeing that we got a lot of know-it-alls, the brain is your engine of your body. It's your parallel processor. And what it does is it's performing so many things, you guys, at one time. You got it's internally interactively combining your high levels of judgment about the goals and the, you know, how well you're satisfied with it, and then you got it processing the low level of perception of your bodily changes. Then you got them dang on thoughts that's happening, and it's a billions of nerve cells, aka them neurons, that are internally connected to the trillions of other connections, and that's sending about 1,000 signals per second, creating what we know as thoughts. Now, feelings are merely the physical sensations that we experience in our body. It's the reactions regarding the emotion. So, do you know that I'm sure you know, everybody knows that energy is everything, and if you don't know, that's okay. But energy is everything, and it's everywhere. So can you help me understand how your thought wouldn't be energy? Because in order for communication to happen, there has to be wavelengths, right? And there you have wavelengths that are picking up vibrations that are sending and receiving sound. That's what happens when you see things. Your eye is transmitting signals to your brain, telling you what it is that you see. When you hear things, your ears are taking in information, and it's telling your brain what it is that you're hearing, so that you can put A to B and connect it all the way to Z. Now, but did you know that your brain actually functions and runs on energy? Yep, it does. Called glucose. Now listen, I don't know if you know that glucose is sugar, but see, this is the thing. It's not the sugar that you put in like your donuts or your coffee or something like that. That ain't the type of energy it is. The type of sugar. It's like the sugar that comes from fruit or natural like herbs and natural vegetables. It's that type of sugar. Fear in now that's that. Now that's the type of energy that your brain needs to continue to function and do all the multiple things that it does. Now, let's tie this all into fear. Now I told you all of that just to let you know about this fear that is an emotion. You guys are not sure if you know that there's only 8 emotions, and fear happens to be the one that we at Empowerment Schooling are focusing on in relationships. Now, I'm going to tie some things together here for you, so stay connected with me, stay with me. Fear in humans, that occurs as a response to a specific stimulus, to either something that's happening or possibly could happen, you know, and this is something that in your mind that you think, okay? So, fear causes changes within the organisms in your brain up here, and then it's shooting down signals causing dysfunction. Because it's already, your brain's already doing so many other things. So when this happens, it's like, okay, well, what we processing? Well, that's when you get all these behavioral changes. Okay, so the reaction, it starts in your brain. It's called the amygdala. Look, the word gonna come across the screen. Look it up. I might be saying it wrong, but I know what I'm saying. Pretty much this detects how much something stands out to you, okay? And this is when the chemical messengers, the neurotransmitters, see, they communicate with different parts of your body, and they're sending whatever hormones. I don't care if it's the dopamine, the serotonin, the look, that word gonna come across the screen too, and it's a long one, but I know what I'm trying to say. It's causing the feelings of anxiety, aka fear. Now, you might start like sweating, shaking, becoming all anxious and stuff. And for me, when I get that feeling of fear, for most times, I immediately, I gotta pee. Shh, don't tell nobody about that though. That's between me and you. Now, let's tie this all together, okay? So, if this is energy that's happening, that's sending signals through your body. Now, we all jump into relationships. With Empowerment Schooling, we call them ships, okay? Because it's so many different kinds of ships, aka relationships. But we mainly focus on the 4. Now, you got 4 different types, and then you have subdivisions within them types, okay? So you got your intimate relationships. Those are relationships that are like your partners, like your mate, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you know, the person that you have a bond with, and you guys are on the same wavelength, y'all on the same understanding of commitment to one another. Y'all, when in relationships, this is where the fear is coming in, and this is why I'm tying this all in together. This is where the fear is coming in. The fear is coming in where the boundaries have not been laid out, and I mean in every type of relationship: the intimate relationships, the personal relationships, the social relationships, even the public relationships. And in setting boundaries, you have to identify in each relationship, and this is for you, because this is your life that you're living, and it's you that has to decipher right from wrong, good or bad, but so that you can get to wherever it is that you need to get to in your life. So boundaries for somebody else might not look the same for somebody else, because nobody's inside of your body telling you how you actually feel. Now, you have partners. Within that boundary level, it's written down. I'm using my company workbook, you guys, so I'll look at some different dimensions here. But within a family relationship, it's described as you have those people that are relatives, that are your blood connected. You have your immediate family members. Those would be people that would be like your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, your brother, your sister, and even if these would be your first cousins. Okay, now, then within that's your core family. And then you have your partner. That's in your intimate relationships. Those people with your boundaries can be anywhere between 0 inches to 18 inches within your personal perimeter space. Then you got your personal boundaries. Okay, I mean your personal relationships. And that's going to entail your friends. Now, I'm reading from a workbook, and I'm gonna tell you what a friend is, because we don't want to get this misconstrued. We want to lay this out, and we want to stick to the facts so that we can set boundaries that allow us to be successful throughout all relationships. And we're gonna master this fear because we're gonna set the boundaries to be able to identify with why we're even having the fear within the relationship. So let's get to identifying the relationships. So friends are people that you're not related to, guys, but you choose to interact with them. They are people who you can trust, people who you care about, people who you spend time with, and people who you feel comfortable confiding in. Okay, them 4 things. If you ain't doing all of that, them not your friends. Okay, this is in your personal relationships. Okay, this is in the spectrum of that. Friends. Now, you have extended family that's in that personal relationship boundary. Now, within the personal relationship boundary, when it comes to extended family, that's going to be, for instance, your third, maybe second, fourth, your second, third, sometimes your second cousins, depending upon how close you are, cousins, your second, third aunts, and this and that. Those are those people. Your married in-laws, if y'all aren't bonded and that's not considered a part of your core family, your in-laws, then they will be your extended family, and you have to set boundaries there as well. So they would be within your personal boundary. The personal relationships include friends and extended family. For your personal boundaries, you should be able to have them as close to 18 to 4 feet. Okay? Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just telling you. Social relationships. Now, these is the ones that I think that we really should set boundaries with. At least I do. For my profession, for my connections, I actually take this very seriously. You got, in this social relationships, you got acquaintances. Now let me define acquaintances for you. In my company workbook, you can log on to the website and get you one. Acquaintances are people you encounter regularly, but you're not friends or relatives. For example, if you go to the grocery store and you see that same cashier because she don't work there for 15 years, if you don't got her number, you don't care about contacting her when she's sick, and she don't contact you when you're sick, or your mom or your child is sick. If you do not spend time outside of that grocery store with this lady, okay, that ain't your friend. That's your acquaintance. Y'all can talk about he, ha, ha, ha at the register. Share a little bit of hot moment of talk. But if you ain't covered them 4 bases, they ain't your friend. She's your acquaintance. You have a mutual connection, able to communicate with this person. Okay? Your co-workers. These are people that you work with. Both of y'all are there for the same objective, to do the task and to get paid. If you choose to cross that boundary into friendship, that's because you guys are hanging out regularly. You've built a bond to where you feel secure telling them your business. They care about you genuinely, and you care about them genuinely, and y'all spend time together. Other than that, and you respect them. You trust them. Okay? If you ain't doing that at work and y'all just merely having a conversation just to pass time, that's your co-worker, aka an acquaintance. Keep it there. Set the boundaries. Don't cross them. Don't let them be crossed. Okay? Now, public. Oh, within those boundaries, for your personal self, it needs to be between within 4 feet to 10 feet. Okay? Now, with the public. Listen, stranger danger, give me 50 feet. It really says that you're supposed to be here about like 10 feet. You know what I'm saying? But 50 feet would work too, because you don't know these people. These are strangers. Stranger danger. Now let's tie this all back together, you guys. Fear. Fear is what that happens in your brain. It's based upon something that you're thinking is gonna happen, or something because of something that has already happened and you're hoping that it doesn't happen again. Okay? It's happening up here. Now, sometimes people are afraid of the unknown. Okay? That's because that's somebody probably done told them something that, oh, this happened, and now they're under the impression that this might happen to them. They heard this happened. A spider bit my auntie on her leg and she got okay, that happened to your auntie. Every spider ain't gonna do that. Okay, but if that's your fear, you need to figure out, because the animals are a part of nature and they're a part of this planet the same way you are. So they're supposed to be here the same way you feel like you're supposed to be here. We just got to figure out how to mingle. That's with each other as humans too. That's what we're talking about in fear. So if you're dealing with fear within your within like your something that is stopping you from starting. If someone like starting a new task or a new assignment, listen guys, that's something that you need to deal with within yourself. If you have self-doubt, then maybe we should address that and stop blaming fear, because that emotion already has a rap in itself. Now, if we're dealing with fear of losing a loved one to death, you guys, that's a part of life. And I'm not saying that to be insensitive, because I've lost so many and I love them still to this day. But I appreciate the time that I had with them, and I embrace all the good memories and the good experiences and the lessons that they taught me to live on what they taught me. I want to be the representation of who my people that have passed on were when they were here. So I hold myself accountable when need be. So you should try that. Now, when it comes to fear of failure, you guys, nobody wants to fail, but in failing, there is still a chance for you to grow. Maybe it wasn't the time, so at that time things didn't go right, because everything happens in the time it's supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen. And you have the ability to create your reality. You can have things set up to where when the time comes, it will just work. In my Eminem voice, you better lose yourself in the moment you want it. Okay, I'm done. Now, if you have a fear of being alone, now that's a different story, guys. That's something we're going to have to talk about one-on-one. Because in order for you to be able to be in any type of relationship and have value in it, you have to own yourself and your position in the relationship. If you're not even okay with being alone, how can you expect an outsider to accept everything that's not okay with you if you aren't even comfortable with it yourself? Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just saying. Fear of commitment. You guys, I don't know how much more we can drill this into the ground or into you guys' mind. Because from the age of 7 years old, you guys, from birth until 7, life, thoughts, feelings, and choice and opinions are painted onto us by the people that raised us, the things we saw and the people that we were around, education, and things of that nature. Then when you got older, you realized that it's some things that you might have been told, that you might have saw, that you might have did that wasn't right. So you have to undo that. Y'all, we're in the age and the stage of undoing, reprogramming, and realigning so that we can define ourselves. Okay? I am here as Mrs. Empowerment Coach, a life coach with Empowerment Schooling, to help you guys do that. If you need one-on-one, hit me up, www.empowermentschooling.com. Book your free 15-minute consultation, and from there, we can get you started onto your level of success. But this fear, guys, we got to knock this thing out the park. We're going to identify it. We're going to deal with it. We're going to address it, and we're going to overcome it. There can be a time, you guys, when fear can be a motivator, and it can be an intuitive, instinctive type of feeling. Those are the times where you have all your neurons firing off at one time, letting you know that something is about to happen and you need to be away. That's the time when we buy into fear. Fear can put you in a situation where you actually advance, where it's a motivating factor, where you're pushing yourself because you're unsure, and that's okay too. But you guys, I'm telling you right now, when it comes to fear, we are here to help you master it. www.empowermentschooling.com. Like my channel, subscribe. See ya on the next one.